At 6:17 a.m., on a quiet Tuesday, a neighbor named Mrs. Eleanor Finch noticed something strange. The lights were still on at the Harper house next door. This wasn't just unusual, it was wrong. The Harpers were the definition of a normal family, quiet, polite, and completely predictable. There was David, an accountant, his wife Sarah, a part-time piano teacher, and their 2 children, 11-year-old Lucas and 7-year-old Mia. Every single morning, like clockwork, David would leave for his early commute, and the house would go dark at exactly 6 o'clock. But on this morning, every light in the house was glowing. The front door stood wide open, inviting the chilly morning air inside, and the family was gone. Police arrived within minutes, stepping into a scene frozen in time. Inside the Harper house, breakfast sat half-eaten on the table. The coffee in the mugs was cold. A piece of toast was burned black in the toaster. A glass of milk had been spilled on the floor, the puddle already starting to dry at the edges. Everything they would need for a normal day was left behind. Sarah's purse lay on the kitchen counter, her wallet still inside. Lucas's school bag was packed and ready by the door. On the living room couch, Mia's favorite stuffed rabbit sat alone, staring into the empty room. Even the family cars were parked neatly in the driveway. There were no signs of a struggle, no broken furniture, no blood. It was as if the Harpers had simply stood up in the middle of their morning routine and walked out together, into thin air. Investigators began questioning the neighbors, piecing together the final hours. One neighbor recalled hearing laughter from the Harper backyard around 10:48 the previous night. Another heard a car door slam at 11:12 p.m., but was certain no car ever left the driveway. Security cameras on the street captured something even stranger. At exactly 11:23 p.m., every light in the Harper house suddenly switched on at the same time. After that, nothing. The case exploded across the nation. It was a mystery that gripped everyone. Search teams with dogs scoured the nearby forests, rivers, and abandoned buildings. Helicopters with thermal cameras hovered over the town day and night. Within a week, the FBI was involved, but every lead went nowhere. Every logical theory failed. The family had no financial trouble. They had no known enemies, no history of violence, no record of mental illness. David Harper hadn't withdrawn any unusual amounts of money. Their cell phones were found inside the house, powered off. It was as if the family had decided to vanish without taking a single thing needed to survive. During a second, more thorough search of the house, a detective noticed something that made his blood run cold. The basement door was locked from the outside. That wasn't normal. They forced it open and descended into a space that was clean to clean. The walls had been recently painted. The concrete floor looked freshly poured. A faint, lingering smell of chemicals hung in the air. But there was nothing else. No bodies, no evidence. Just a disturbing, sterile silence. Weeks turned into a month. While investigators were carefully packing up the children's belongings, they found a drawing tucked under Mia's bed. It showed 4 stick figures holding hands, standing under a dark, starless sky. Looming behind them was a tall, shadowy figure with no face, and written underneath in a child's uneven letters were 5 chilling words. He said, "We have to go." 3 months later, the case finally seemed to break. An anonymous tip led police to Caleb Rowe, a man who lived just 2 houses down from the Harpers. Caleb was a loner, quiet and rarely seen. When police entered his garage, they were hit by the overwhelming smell of bleach. Inside, they found ropes, duct tape, and powerful sedatives. But still no bodies. Caleb denied everything. His voice was calm when he told them, "I never touched them. I only watched." The real breakthrough came by pure accident. A construction crew working near a local spot called Willow Creek was digging when the ground suddenly collapsed beneath them. They had uncovered a tunnel. It was old and looked like it had been dug by hand. Police followed it. The tunnel led from the creek, under the streets, directly toward the Harper house and then kept going. They had stumbled upon a hidden network of tunnels snaking beneath the entire neighborhood. Inside, they found hidden rooms, furnished with old mattresses, children's toys, and discarded food wrappers. And pinned to the dirt walls were photographs, pictures of families, the Harpers, other families. They had all been watched, tracked, and chosen. Caleb Rowe wasn't working alone. He was part of something much older and far more patient. In the deepest, darkest part of the tunnel network, they found a small tape recorder. The detective pressed play. The tape began with the sound of soft footsteps on a dirt floor. Then, a man's calm, unnervingly gentle voice spoke. "Don't scream. This is how families stay together." The voice was followed by the sound of a child crying, and then Sarah Harper's voice, begging. Then, only silence. Despite months of searching the tunnels, the Harper family was never found. No remains, no trace, no proof of their fate. Caleb Rowe died in prison a year later, never speaking another word about the case. The authorities sealed the tunnels, and officially, the case was declared unsolved. 5 years later, in another state hundreds of miles away, another family vanished in the exact same way. The lights were left on. Breakfast sat untouched on the table. The basement door was locked from the outside, and left behind, tucked under a child's bed, was a single drawing. 4 figures, holding hands, walking together into the dark